Yeah. What's up, everybody? We back up in here, Hella Flagrant, the podcast. It's your man, Flagrant DM. I'm in here with my brother, Sean B. Flagrant. We here to jump into some of this NBA action. Our hometown team, the Golden State Warriors, the repeat champions. 3 rings, 4 years. Y'all already know the narrative. Kicked off NBA season with ring night. Got to see that reversible ring thing. I wish we were able to show a photo or video of it on here. But did you see that? That was crazy. Like you could take the top off the ring and then the ring flipped around and it had a little cup underneath it and all that kind of, I don't know. It was dope. I thought it was dope.
Yeah, it was clean. I mean, Joe Lacob outdid himself again, of course. Yeah. They had 74 for the 74 wins they got, the 58 in the regular season, and then of course the 16 that they got in the playoffs. They had 74 diamonds, with also 74 was that, I guess, sapphire. Yeah, sapphire for the blue, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Sapphires mixed in. That's why it was reversible, gold plated. I mean, Joe Lacob, the Warriors, man, they do it right for everybody. We all know that. They didn't give me no ring, obviously. I don't know what the deal is, but even so,
that's all right. We're gonna earn ours. They're gonna make us, you know what I mean, honorary ring holders.
For real, Joe Lacob, holla at your boy. I mean, I can use something over here. You feel me? But I mean, but either way, I mean, great accomplishment for the whole Warriors organization. Obviously, ring night they played the OKC Thunder, obviously, but no Russ, no what's his name? Steve Nash played.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, well, it was a game. Take it back. I want to say it wasn't a game, but it was a game. It started off actually being kind of, you know, where the Warriors usually kind of pull up to a good lead. And then all of a sudden, here comes OKC pulling back. Paul George hitting a few jumpers here and there and wound up being an 8-point game, but the Warriors still won. So,
yeah, same old, you know, us with the turnovers. That's always something that's always going to, you know, get under our skin. And then obviously the lack of a true big man still trying to, you know, do the center by committee thing. You know, and our second unit is starting to get older. I mean, Livingston is always going to be Livingston, but he's you know, getting older. Iguodala, you know, is getting older, and so he's going to lose a step here and there, and so we got to tighten that up. But you know, one down, 81 to go, and then the playoffs. So you know, shout out to the Warriors. You know, we're looking forward to this season, and you know, we're looking forward to when Boogie comes on, what that's going to do for the team. You know, obviously too, last night to point out again, it was a close game. Klay Thompson was 1 for 8 from 3-point line, which is not normal of Klay. So on a normal night for him as well, you know, we definitely wouldn't be that close to Oklahoma City that didn't have Russell Westbrook, who decided to eat snacks on the bench.
Right. Well, I mean, he did show up in Oakland, so you never know where them snacks came from. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It looked like some cookies for me out of a Ziploc bag, but we're not going to talk about that on here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the Warriors, the problem, the issue I think they're going to have this year is where to find minutes from, you know, without the big four, I guess you can say. Mm-hmm. Right now, we know that Boogie Cousins is not going to be back until Christmas or maybe even later. So right now, especially the center position, they have to do it by committee. Damian Jones is going to most likely start when they have bigger lineups. Kevon Looney's actually been playing pretty well for them. Just kind of a serviceable big man that plays defense on the outside, can block a few shots here and there. But, you know, just does pretty much the dirty work for the team. Also, Jordan Bell, who's still kind of acting young, crazy, wild. You know what I'm saying? They got to kind of rope him back in. But
yeah,
I think the Warriors are going to have a little bit of a struggle when that second unit comes in. No David West this year, so they don't have any guidance, leadership on that side of the ball. I'm just hoping that they don't play their starters meaning KD, Steph, Draymond, and Klay Thompson too much. That's what I'm afraid.
And we lost your 2 favorite big men of all time, JaVale McGee and Zaza Pachulia, to, you know, other teams, and so I know you're heartbroken about that.
I'm happy. I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. I love JaVale. JaVale was a fan favorite out here. I mean, he did some bonehead plays here and there, but he actually played really well for the Warriors. I mean, I got to give him credit for that. Zaza, I don't like. I'm just gonna say it flat out. I don't like him. Have fun in Detroit with Blake and all the rest of them bums. Like, bye.
Did you see Blake get blocked? Did you see Blake get blocked twice?
Oh, that was nasty. First of all, don't come in. Blake, I'm telling you right now, you know what's crazy? The fact that, when he was in LA, he was such this big star. I mean, not really a big star, but everybody knew who Blake Griffin was. He had commercials. He did, funny guy, Blake Griffin, dating Kendall Jenner, living a life. You know what I'm saying?
Jumping over Kias.
Yeah, exactly. Jumping over kids. He can't even jump over sheets of paper in Detroit, man. Detroit's so cold and dirty and filthy, man. I'm sorry to people that live in Detroit, man. We still love you, but I'm just saying right now, it's different than being in Beverly Hills and then being,
I would agree.
8 Mile and everything like that. You know what I'm saying?
With B-Rabbit.
Exactly. So, but I mean, the Warriors going to have a good year, I think, this year. I think they're just going to readjust to dealing with their players. Quinn Cook coming off the bench. Of course, we have, like I talk about, Damian Jones. What I'm worried more about is the guard. I mean, the perimeter play. Jonas Jerebko. I don't know about that. The Evans. What's his name? Is that Jerry Evans the third?
No. And what's the other one? McKinney.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know about them yet. Andre Iguodala actually hurt himself in the game, in the first opening game. So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with that. I don't know. It's the Warriors are the Warriors. They have the 4 best players in the world that play together. So we're never really worried out here in the Bay. Obviously, y'all know about that. On our worst games, we kill people. But, it's like I said, it's 1 year older. See, this is the type of stuff that LeBron has to deal with being with Cleveland. Now, I know it's like, well, we killed Cleveland. It's not really that. It's the fact that you got to play 82 games plus a long extended playoffs into the finals every single year, no matter if you win or lose. Now that this is the fourth, after the 4th year of the Warriors doing that, this will be going for the 5th year. These guys are not old. I mean, I'm sorry, these guys are not young. These guys, 30 is old.
And I mean, you talk about 4 finals, but prior to that, I mean, these guys are going 2-3 rounds deep into the playoffs for 2-3 seasons before that as well, too. So if you really want to go back, we're talking 6-7 seasons of full season plus postseason play. Because even when Mark Jackson was there, they were going to the playoffs too. So what I mean? Like, you talking about 6-7 seasons of postseason and regular season play. Some of these guys play, Olympics, summer league. You know what I mean? So that's a lot of basketball.
Yeah, and then I mean, these guys are human beings too. They're going to have off days. They're going to have family issues. I mean, Curry obviously had his baby. Shout out to Cannon, his son. You know what I'm saying? Draymond Jr. Was born last year also. Clay ain't got, kids, but we know how Clay like to do, run around and party and stuff like that. No, I'm just playing. But, KD, he doesn't have all that, but he plays basketball year-round pretty much. So, I mean, these guys it's going to take a lot out of their body. Hopefully these young guys that are on the bench that can maybe come and help them out, do a little, just maintenance work, I should say. When they do get in the game, just keep the leads that the Warriors put on them in the first half or the first quarter. Just keep that so that way when they do come in, they don't have to crawl from behind or, come back with an even game pretty much.
So if you had to predict, and I don't usually like this, but let's just do it for the people's sake and maybe to ruffle some feathers and start an argument. Over under 72 wins.
Oh, that's way. That's way up. I'm telling you right now. Look, that whole season when they did get 73, they pushed themselves too hard. Steve Kerr knows that. They looked terrible when they played the Cavs, and that's Game 7.
Okay, so then let's get more realistic. 60 wins.
60 wins. That's a better thing. Now, I'm on the notion to think that they'll probably get right around there, 60, 61, 62 maybe, or even 59, only because of the situation that Last year they got 58 wins. I think this year they're going to play a lot of their younger guys and times because it's going to be tough for, like we just talked about with all the big four playing all these minutes. Plus, in addition, when Billy comes back, they're going to have to adjust to him, get him touches, get him feel, move the offense around, feel how they work with him. So personally, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say under 60. I'm gonna go 59. I'm gonna 59 or under. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay. I'm gonna take the slight over and say about 62 games. I think that when they make their East Coast run, they're probably gonna run through a lot of those teams. So where I do see some sort of competition is when you look at New Orleans, when you look at these Lakers. We have a tendency to not take the Lakers seriously the last 2 years.
I think
with the addition of LeBron, obviously that will change.
That will change.
But it still makes them a halfway decent team now. And so, that's something to look at on the schedule. Obviously, Houston, it could go either way. That's a team that if we don't play them right and they end up shooting the three ball well, we could lose a game there. But I don't really foresee them being a threat, so to speak. So I don't know. I don't really see, as long as we're playing good basketball, I don't really see it'll be us beating us. Like I don't really see too many teams just standing in our way.
Well, I agree with that. First of all, it's health. That's the biggest thing that you got to look for in this situation. Can the big four, including Boogie Cummings coming back from his Achilles injury, can they stay healthy during the year? Last year, obviously, we know Steph got hurt, Draymond got hurt, Clay got hurt for like 6 games. We never see Clay get hurt, so that's a big deal. And KD got hurt. So that's the key to this whole equation. Can they stay healthy after playing all these years and up into the finals? That's one. 2, I also think the lull of playing the 82 games, can they stay interested in playing basketball? It's hard to get up for a Tuesday night in Orlando.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to do those games. I'm never worried. That's why when you said about the Lakers, I'm never worried about games like that. When they play LeBron, they come to correct. LeBron might beat them, but that's not because they're not playing hard. They have to do that because they know the world is watching.
Well, and that's where that second unit comes into play, because those are the guys that should be getting excited to get up to play against Orlando, because what's going to happen in those games is a Steph and KD and a Clay going to go off for a quarter and a half, and then it's going to be up to that second unit to keep that score up. And so, I actually kind of agree with you on that. It is going to be harder in those cities for guys to stay motivated to push, especially your starters, to stay motivated to try to get a win in those cities. So it'll really, really rely on that second unit to make some of those things happen. So, I agree there. But I still, I'm going to stick to mine and say I still don't see more than 20 losses on the schedule. So 62, 63 wins for me is realistic. Yeah,
it's very understandable, and I am not doubting that. I just would take the slight under just because there are going to be bad games. There might be injuries. There might be a lot of rest days. A lot of times Steve Kerr just randomly rests players just because. So, you never know. But once again, it's going to be one hell of a year, especially, everybody knows you in the Bay Area. This is the last year at Oracle Arena. So it's hard. It's hard. Me being a diehard Warriors and also Raiders fan, we know how their season is. But just being in the vicinity of Oakland, being at O.Co. or being at Oracle, that's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be hard for me to see him go. I've spent years and years and years being at that arena. Whenever I have a chance to go to a game, I'm going to go. But, I guess big things for the, Warriors going to San Francisco. But, it's still home here. So, it's going to be a big year. It's going to be a big year.
Yeah, no, it should be great. It is, it's tough to see him go. Growing up, me, 73rd Avenue, the street that leads directly to the Coliseum, you know what I mean? You come off that exit and people used to ask me for directions in my front lawn. Like, how do I get to the Coliseum?
Right
there. It's right there. You know what I'm saying? And so, It's tough. It's tough for Coliseum to be losing the sports. Even though I'm not a Raider fan, it's still tough on the community to see the teams get ready to go. So, I do hope it's a fun year. I hope that it's an exciting year for the Warriors and for the fans and for the city of Oakland.
Yeah, people be like, oh, well, y'all just moving to San Francisco ain't gonna be that bad. Y'all don't get it. It's tough. It's tough to get over there. It's like a whole nother world. You know what I'm saying? San Francisco, right. If you coming off of work trying to get to Frisco, it don't work. Like, it don't work. You ain't gonna make that game. You're gonna be late. By the time you get done, you're gonna have to go through all that traffic just to get home. It ain't gonna be the same. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Plus, it's gonna be expensive.
You have to use PTO to go to Warrior games during the week, like.
Exactly.
I'm leaving at noon. I'm about to get on this bar at noon. Exactly. And make my way over there.
Call that two straight sick days. You got one for the game day, one for after.
To recover.
Exactly. So even speaking with that, okay. So this year finishes. Are you predicting a championship, a three-peat, or how's it working?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not saying it in an arrogant manner. I'm saying it more so, again, the same way I said it about not seeing 20 losses on the schedule. I really don't foresee in a 7-game series too many teams that are really going to push us in a 7-game series. Again, it relies on us, injury, playing together, finding ways to stay focused through the lulls, all that sort of thing where we get seated. Because there may be some teams that may come out hungrier than us and may get seeded as 2 or 3. We may not get seeded as 1, and so that may affect where we end up in the playoffs. And so the only killer to us is us. And so I think as long as we continue to stay in the mindset that we had these last couple of years, with hopefully a good addition of Boogie Cousins once he's back off of injury, I don't foresee any team that can really beat us in a 7-game series. And that's why I'm saying we're winning the championship, and not just to be arrogant because I'm a Warriors fan, but I just realistically don't see that.
I agree. Barring injury, of course. That's the only thing I can think of. The other thing, like you said, when you're talking about seeding, depending on where the Warriors do fall, if they do get a 2nd or 3rd seed, and if they don't try for that 1st seed, that might be a little bit of a difficulty. I don't know where the Lakers and LeBron is going to land at, depending on, situations, because you could come in, and even if you have the 1st seed, if you playing a hungry team like Utah, for some reason Utah falls out of favor and Utah is in the A seed or something like that because everybody's kind of stacked up, you got to play Utah, the Lakers, and then Houston, or in that some kind of order like that. That's going to be tough. Yep. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be hard on everybody's body, because then let's just say you play those 3 and you get past that, and it takes a little bit, then you got Boston coming to play in the finals. Now, I'm telling you right now, Boston might not win this year, but Boston's going to win the championship soon.
Yeah, if they stay, well, even if they don't stay together, because I was going to say, there's obviously rumors of Kyrie wanting to leave, but Terry Rozier looked like Boston don't really need Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure. There was one game. We can't judge a whole season off of one game. We got 81 more games to go. But again, I don't see Boston as being somebody in the way of the Warriors. Yes, they may win it next year, but this year, no.
True. And that's the thing. You just never know what variables. If everything stays the same, if these teams stay the same, what happens in the trade deadline? What if Boston grabs Anthony Davis? What if somehow, what I'm saying? Like, if everything stays the same and this team is healthy, nobody's going to beat them. Yeah. Period, point blank. I'm sorry for the rest of the league and everybody else fans. I know Lakers fans and everybody else is typed right now. Ain't nothing happening. As long as this team stay together, there ain't nothing happening. Now, even with that, let's say they do win 3-peat, 4 championships. They got to move over to Frisco for the new stadium. Who's going to the new stadium? That's my question to you. Who's going to the new stadium?
The new money in San Francisco.
No. I don't mean that. I'm talking about players. We got
who's staying?
Steph is signed right now.
So I don't think KD's gonna stay.
Okay.
I think KD's gonna take some money and go elsewhere. I think if that happens, Clay stays.
Okay.
And I think Draymond will play the market and see what's out there. But may re-sign if the money's available.
Well, okay. So Draymond still has another year after, so he no matter what is going to go there unless they trade him. But I think what happens is his contract will be affected depending on, like you said, if KD stays or leaves, if Clay stays or leaves, because he's going to be working towards max money by if he gets a defensive player of the year or if he gets, a first team all NBA, he can be eligible for the Supermax. So he's going to be working hard for that. And if he's get eligible for the Supermax, that means he can get up to $200 million. Right. Now, if they don't have $200 million and he wants to get it somewhere else, then that might be a problem.
Right.
On the same end, KD, we all know about, him traveling. I don't think any Warrior fans actually thinks that he's going to retire a Warrior. It's just me personally. It was funny because actually after the yesterday's game, they actually came out. He posted something and they had his ring on IG, and he was basically saying, like, great moment, great, 81 more games left, right? So then somebody, this is how the internet is right here. This is how people just read into things crazily. Somebody went through his whole comments and found his brother's comment. And his brother's comment basically was like, great way to get them rings or whatever. He was like, let's fill up the hand and let's get out of here. So everybody took that as basically like, oh, you got your 1, 2, 3 on the thing. You about to just bounce after this year. Now, it's speculation, obviously, but we all know KD never said he's going to come back and resign. We don't know what's going to happen. And his brother came out and said, no, it wasn't about that. I was talking about when you retire, get out of here with the Warriors. We're not listening to that.
Yeah, I listen. I'm not tripping. Like you said, most of us as Warrior fans, we wasn't expecting KD to retire as a Warrior. I'm not tripping. He came. He did what Harrison Barnes couldn't do, was play the 3 position and get us over the hump and get us a win in those situations that we needed him to do. And so he did his job. I don't feel like KD owes me nothing as a Warrior fan. So if he goes, he goes. I'm cool. And I think he will. And I think that will open the door for Clay to stay. But again, I don't know what effect that will have on Draymond.
True. And I mean, either way, like I feel like he came in here. If he gets 3 championships or even 2, I mean, that's enough. Do what you had to do. You're not owed to us. You didn't start here. You don't have to finish here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, your money is your money. That's for any player, actually. I'm not, and everybody gets mad and starts burning jerseys. Forget all that, man. Like, these players are this is their money. Like, Steph wasn't born here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like he's
doing a job.
He owes the Bay Area anything. Like, no, he's only here because we picked him.
If your State Farm agent decides to transfer to Washington, D.C., you're not going to go burn your State Farm
exactly
that they gave you on the wall for being a customer. Like, come on, man. Chill.
Exactly. Let him do his job, man.
Let him do his job.
But on top of that, I mean, same thing with Boogie Cousins. Boogie's here. Everybody's excited. But Boogie's not here to stay. He's just going to play himself into a new contract and go somewhere else. Yeah. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? The more the merrier. If as long as I get some hardwood, me personally, like once again, Joe Lacob, hook it up. I need some rings. As long as we get some hardware, I don't care about nothing, man. You know,
and give these young guys something to play for. You know what I'm saying? Like give the Jordan Bells and Damian Jones and something else. Give them something to play for. Again, make them feel like they inspired and a part of this championship as well. So that way, in the future, KD will leave or whatever the situation happens with Clay, you've got some guys that have been a part of this now that, can take on this and be able to move this forward as you move into the new stadium. Should also be the thought process too, is like, we got these guys that are big, but at one point, Steph, Clay, and Draymond specifically, they were draft picks for the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? They weren't always superstars. And so as you move into this new stadium, you got to look at the guys that you brought on and making sure that you're developing them so that they can help, attempt to try to carry on some sort of a legacy as you move into the new stadium too.
Right. I mean, everybody just got to understand it's all about money and progression, man. You know what I'm saying? The Warriors didn't have all this big 4 years ago. We had the bad times. They're not going to be here forever. I mean, they're human beings. They don't get old.
No,
I don't want to. I'm sorry. I know I love Steph to death and the way he plays, but I don't want to see a 45-year-old Steph here. Like we got to move. Yeah. You got to move on. You know what I'm saying? Whenever it's time to go, it's time to go. Like I'm sorry. That's just how I am. That's what everybody. I mean, when KD's thin leg breaks off, it's time to go. You know what I'm saying? It's time to go. But no, on the real, I am thankful to be in the Bay Area and have a team finally come up and do some shit for us because it's been a long time to actually sit on top of the NBA world and just, you know what I'm saying? Because
we were owed it. We deserved it. We was down at the bottom for a minute. We deserved it. I mean, we got close. We tasted it a little bit with the early days of the Warriors when we had Mullen and Hardaway, and then when Sprewell and Weber, they tried to get us a little closer to it, but we haven't seen it for real since.
No. So I mean, it's a blessing either way, man. I mean, shout out to Joe Lacob and Peter Guber for turning this shit around because it was looking dark. It was looking dark.
Yinkadare. Kalina Azabuki days.
Von Tego Cummings. You know what I'm saying? Like Todd Fuller. My boy Donald Fuller. I can't get mad at him.
Donald Fuller, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Can't get mad at Patrick O'Brien. You feel me? Chris Mills. Danny Fortson. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes. Ooh. The list goes on, man. I mean, John Starks in the broken years, you know?
Yeah.
Johnson in them broken years, man. Like Larry
Hughes. I mean, Steve Jackson and them boys tried to do it for us a little bit.
Yeah, they put on a little bit of a little bit of run with the We Believe thing, but man, it was tough.
Matty Barnes and his few stints.
Yeah, exactly. Twice he did. It's been tough, man. It's been tough. Mookie Blaylock, I got names for days, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but shout out for the team getting it right. You know what I'm saying? Because I swear to God, like that whole. I remember back in the day when I was at the game when they booed Joe Lacob for trading away Monte for Steph, man. Like, could you imagine if they would have traded Steph away? Oh my God, that would have been a failure. Oh my God.
Sometimes you just gotta trust the process and
for real, I can
know what you got because we were all kind of on pins and needles about that one. We were like, really, you gonna let Monte go? You sure about this?
I think Monte at this point would have traded himself too.